Good morning. Welcome back to the north. It's another cold day starting up over here. It's always much warmer knowing that all of yous are watching my videos. I thank yous for it. I really do. I'm happy to know that many of yous are actually getting a lot out of it. I have several followers who are discus keepers that have improved their experience, and they've got big smiles on their faces because they're being successful discus keepers with beautiful, clean, clear tanks and happy fish. There's nothing that feels better than getting to this point after you've watched your fish struggle, and we all do that. We all do that. In this video, I'm going to talk about my belief that I've cracked the discus code, and I've kind of done it in a way that nobody's really done it before. Now, I'm not saying the things that I use other people haven't done before, and there's definitely people with clean tanks and who have had clean, clear tanks longer than me. But my approach has been a little different for a few reasons, and I'm going to try and get into those. So, now I had a comment a short while ago. We'll start with that, I guess. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Gonna hit pause. I smoke outside and hit the cold air, and then when I come in, the warm air, it gives me makes my nose run. But anyhow, someone just made a comment. It looks like last night while I was in bed. Looks like they just stumbled into one of my videos and they saw my fish. And the first thing he did was accuse me of being some kind of fake discus channel. The second thing he did was accuse me of buying all my fish as adults, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And then he said the only real channel is Jack Watley Discus. And another one he can't remember, which shows me this individual has absolutely no clue about my channel, and he just made a knee-jerk text. He's probably drunk. He knee-jerk text and just didn't know what he was talking about. So I replied to him so he'd see it in his little feed thing there, and then I removed his ridiculous comment because everyone knows that I can't afford. Everyone who pays attention knows I can't afford adult fish. I wish I could, because it would speed up my process immensely instead of waiting for them to grow out before I can breed them, grow out, mature, and all the rest of it. It would have shaved more than a year off of my journey if I was that rich. But what I've learned by not being rich is far more valuable, because I raised these fish up, with the exception of two, and I'll point those out right now. I got these recently in the last couple of weeks. As you can see, I'm fattening her up. She arrived really bony, which was, I suspect, why this other owner was selling them off. And this guy here, right here, okay? With the exception of those two fish, all these fish came in as babies. And I grabbed this baby from the same guy. Oh, sorry, let's sever them. This one up here, off the same guy. Okay? And that's the size I buy the majority of my fish at, so you know. So Watley Discus, bare bottom, 100% constant water changes. The man's protecting a business. He runs a different kind of operation. He also runs his discus with traditional mindset, which is heavy medication use, bare bottom tank so that the medications are effective when you need to use them, and quite literally near constant use of chemicals and meds to control the problems that these fish need to deal with. And as you can see, I am doing none of that. There's no bare bottom. There's lots of things in my tank that would cause problems for a discus keeper like that. That's controlling the problem with meds and basically a glass box environment. Now, that is a way to combat the issues that these fish will can't handle. It's effective and it's old school, and I'm not saying it doesn't work. But here's the gist of my situation. I live in Canada, and my government passed laws that ban most, if not almost all, fish meds from being sold here. I cannot use the magic powders that a place like Jack Watley Discus gets to use. I can't import them. They are illegal. I might as well be trying to get fentanyl into the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not allowed to do it. I will get in trouble. That being said, that forced me to develop a way to achieve the same goal without using those meds. And what is that goal? Well, they're using those meds to sterilize their water column and make it free of harmful pathogens, including and most often forms of bacteria that are predatory. That means these free-floating bacteria in your water column, and they tend to be one that all these problem pathogens will float in your water column. Okay, so they're bare bottom tank for a reason. If you got gravel, the meds, and it's thick enough, the pathogens and the microbiology can escape the medication and then repopulate your water column through your substrate. This is why they run bare bottom tanks. This is why they're doing constant water changes. They're trying to bring the parts per million of harmful bacteria down to a more natural level, because in a river with billions of gallons of water, the odds of a pathogen finding the fish, or a parasite, or a bad bacteria or whatever it may be that you can't see in your column, the odds of one of those finding a fish in the wild is slim to none. But in your tank, it's almost guaranteed. This is why you'll hear 100% water changes every day. This is why you'll see people running bare bottom tanks. They're all fighting this problem that I'm talking about right now. Okay, so that's why I believe I've cracked the code, because I've identified that that's what the issue is. Nobody's talking about it like that. Okay, nobody's saying the obvious, and the obvious is keep your water damn clean, right? I mean, people are saying that, but the way they're doing it is by doing 100% water changes every day, and then keeping these fish turns into just a hassle and a morbid job, because you're constant. And then the cost of medications is, even the crap that we can buy up here has now become stupid expensive, right? They want to discourage its use at all costs. So I've had to adapt. How can you keep your water column pure without medications? Well, the answer to that is pond level UV, intense, strong UV. And then I got another one in the corner there. It's not as strong, but it's helping out. It's helping out. And I literally kill everything in my water column. And guess what's happened since I deployed that? All my problems went away. I don't need meds anymore. My tank is crazy overstocked, and I could literally get away with changing my water once a week. Right now I'm doing it every 5 days. I've just bumped my schedule to 5 days. And I believe adding the Purigen last week to the scenario has probably given me a 7-day tank. And look at my stocking levels. Okay? No more meds. This would be Even Watley Discus would tell you I'm insane for putting this many fish in the tank. Look at them, they're happy. They couldn't be more colorful as the sun comes up for them. And they wait for their breakfast. Looking at me saying, feed me, feed me. Everyone's in the front of the glass. Right? There's 18. I have 18 discus. I think there's 16 in here, right? I own 18 discus. I believe there's 16 discus in this tank, 2 angelfish, 2 severums, a very large eel, 3 catfish, a bunch of rummy nose, some black neons, coolie loach, and I'm probably forgetting things. Probably about 200 assassin snails. There's a bioload and a half in here. Mr. Greg's coming in to yell at us. I'm busy, Mr. Greg. What do you want? Come here. No. Okay. But, yeah. Yeah. It's really that simple. These fish can be as easy as any other fish, as long as your approach, however you choose to do it, is eliminating pathogens from your water column. That's it. Remove the problems. That's where they start. The bacteria, say it's a harmful bacteria, it starts going after the gills. The fish is now fighting it with its immune system constantly, because it's not going to go away until you do something about it. Be it medicate your tank and kill the pathogen that way. Otherwise, now the immune system will be taxed, which means the food is not going to growth. It's going to survival while you're growing out your fish, and you end up stunting your fish, and you don't know why. And even in a bare bottom environment, this is going to end up happening, because you're not going to want to use the meds every day onless you're south of the border and they're dirt cheap for you and you got a whole bunch of them. You can solve your problems with meds. But once the meds go away, the cloudy eyes come back, and you're going to notice this loop. And that whole time you'll be stunting your fish. And what do I mean by stunted fish? Well, before I learned that lesson, okay, my first year, that's my fish in my first year. That's as big as it's going to get. It's full grown. That fish is stunted. Look at the eye to body size ratio. It's still an acceptable fish because it has more than 4 eyes. So technically, this fish is not considered stunted, okay? From a retail perspective, this is not a stunted fish. In my view, it's a stunted fish. A lot of people will blame this on genetics. I blame it on my inexperience, and I've said that before. Now let me show you the difference. This fish came in while I was closer to dialed in. It is now the biggest fish in my tank. This fish has about 5 months of growth left on it, but it's the biggest fish in my tank. And then, as I got more dialed in, this fish is one of my youngest fish. It's already caught up to the size of the first one I showed you. Pay attention to the eye to body size ratios. Now, Big Red is sort of a weird exception. And pigeon bloods will have larger eyes. But this guy, raised by someone else, he's a little too small for his age. He's about a year old. His eye's a little big. He's still a beautiful fish. But then compare him over to this one that's grown up in my environment. Look how many eyes I can fit top to bottom on this fish. That fish is going to be massive. And that fish is literally like 5 months old. It's literally got 10 months. This fish here has 10 months left on its growth cycle. So does this one, same age. 10 months left on its freaking growth cycle. And it's already catching up to Big Red. This is what I mean by cracking the code. Get those pathogens out of your water, and it's easy mode. All the problems go away, and the growth rates go through the roof. And I'm changing my water once. It was once every 4 days. Now it's going to be once every 5 days. And again, we've got that little guy, that little white one. Here he is. Okay, watch his growth. Watch his growth in the next 3 months. He's going to catch up to the rest of these fish in about 3 months. 4 tops. he's going to look like all he's going to be right up there with Big Red. And that's amazing growth time for a discus. Watch it happen. That's what just happened to these guys. And that's what's happening to, to him over there. Even my other big white one, where is he? Here. No, he's big now. He was one of my last small ones a short while ago. And he's just kaboom. So, I'm telling you, no word of a lie. No gimmicks. I got nothing to sell but a smile on your face. Pathogens in the water. That's the code. That's the key to cracking the code. It's that simple. That's the thing that no one's simply saying to you is keep your water. You don't have to change your water every day. You just have to sterilize it. And if you sterilize it, your tank lasts as long as any other fish tank you ever owned. Because one week water change in a tank stock like this is pretty much where it would be at with any other cichlid tank. So in that case, I've cracked the code, because if I can make a discus just like an African cichlid, a discus keeping experience just like an African cichlid keeping experience, no more work. I mean, yes, I'm resting water and doing that sort of thing, and I probably wouldn't have to do that with an African cichlid. But aside from that, how long my tank is lasting is the same. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's worth noting. And I hope it helps people enjoy these fish as easily as they enjoy their African cichlids. And each and every one of you can win the cichlid game without busting your ass. If you simply concentrate on water quality. And what I mean by that is eliminating life forms that live in the water column. You can let them live everywhere else. They're going to be alive on the surfaces. You're going to have plenty of beneficial bacteria. Actually, you'll have more beneficial bacteria than you ever had before, because the beneficial bacteria will not be competing with the free-floating bacteria and other life forms eating up resources in the water column. All those resources that still remain in my water column are now 100% available to my beneficial bacteria and my beneficial bacteria only. So now my beneficial bacteria population is rich and robust and thick and more healthy than it's ever been. And that is also helping keep my tank in check. I'm literally winning every single battle that kills these fish and stunts these fish by simply eradicating life forms in my water column. That is the secret to keeping discus without doing water changes every day. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Oh, and if you like fish, nail that subscribe button.